welcome to a new week. I'm Catherine, this is Yoga with Come Follow Me. This week is Alma 8 through 12, so today I'm going to do 8 through 10, and then tomorrow is 11 and 12. Find a nice seated position. You can bring your hands to heart center or relax them however you'd like. Be comfortable and start to come to your breath. Notice your breath and deepen it more and more. And I am just going to review what we went over last time. If you remember last week, I did the meditation on Monday, and my goal was to help you feel like you were relating to the people of Zarahemla as Alma asked them all these questions about their testimony and about their faith. And so that you can come inward and reflect on your own as Alma spoke to these people. First, Alma spoke in the land of Zarahemla, then he went to Gideon, and then he comes back from Gideon at the beginning of chapter 8. So this week we'll go over how he goes into a city called Melek, and then he goes in to teach the people in Ammonihah. In verse 1, at the very end of it, it says, he returned to his own house at Zarahemla to rest from the labors which he had performed, from going to Gideon and teaching the people in the land of Zarahemla. And he rests, which is so cool that it was even in there, because it was probably such a special time for him to just take a minute and to breathe, which I think is so important for all of us, which is a huge reason why I even started these videos. From the very beginning, I thought, I just want people to be able to start their day, start their week, come to a place, whether it's your mat, whether that's by the side of your bed, wake up before your kids, before your job, and just come to start your day. Come with breath, start your day with some movement, and start your day with some scripture. And accomplish multiple things at once while we just fill our soul with all the goodness. And so I love how he says he had to rest, as do all of us. And then that ended the 9th year. So if you remember last week, we talked about all the years from the reign of the judges. And so if you remember last week, I named all of the years and gave them kind of a summary of what's happening. So now that we're going into the 10th year of the reign of the judges, I named this year missionary work. Because basically Alma is just doing a ton of missionary work. Okay, so before we begin, we're gonna just come to all fours on your hands and your knees. Our toes are tucked under. And just start to stretch that spine. Maybe wave it up and down. Do some cat and cows. Include that breath. Inhale. And exhale. Come inward. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe do some circles with your hips. And other side, just start to move however your body feels fit to move. One thing I did want to mention at the beginning of this video, I know that there's a lot going on in our country, happening, changes, awareness, a lot of learning, a lot of educating, all the things. Also, a lot of contention, all the things. And I know sometimes that can feel really heavy. So as you come to your mat, as you come to your space, hold your space as your own. It's not anybody else's. So just take a minute and own yourself. Own your space and claim it to be yours. Also today, we are just going to move really freely. And this is a huge way to express ourselves. That's what we're seeing in our nation right now, especially. People wanting to voice themselves, to make their voices heard. And yoga movement specifically is a huge way to do that. When we are able to just let our bodies move themselves, let our breath move our limbs, our bodies, stretch things, let go of emotional releases, let go of tension that is being held places that we don't even know is there until we get there, right? So let that happen. And as I've planned this flow for you today, I've kept that in mind today and tomorrow because there's just a lot happening. So let your body move. And if at any time during our practice, really anytime, I mean, you know this, you're on the other side of the TV, I can't even see you. But if you need any other poses than what I'm guiding you through, take those. Honor your body and listen to your body. Okay. There's your intro for today. So come back to all fours if you left it, wherever you are. Inhale, exhale, warm up that spine, warm up that breath. When you're ready, on your exhale, just lift the knees off the ground. And now breathe. This will add more of an intense breath. So listen to that, feel that. It's just something to engage the muscles and let you really focus on your breath deeply all of a sudden. So Alma gets to Melek. He starts teaching them, the people, the word of God. Inhale, exhale, one more inhale. And on your exhale, straighten the knees, lift the hips high into the sky, come into a nice, comfortable downward dog. Your first downward dog, so take it easy. Maybe bend some knees, roll some ankles, roll that neck. However you need to feel this pose, go there. Verse 5, and it came to pass that the people came to him throughout all the borders of the land, and they were baptized. Basically, they took his words and ran with them. They loved them. They all wanted to get baptized. And they loved Alma. And they thanked him. And Alma left. And now he's on to Ammonihah, which is not as fast of a story. It's pretty much what we'll talk about this entire week. Okay. On your next inhale, we're going to lift the left leg to the back wall, or if it feels right, open those hips, stack those hips, and bring that leg all the way up. For an even deeper stretch here, you can lift your right heel off of your mat. Inhale here, and on your exhale, we're going to bring our left knee to our nose. Engage that core, bring it up. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, all the way back up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, back up, last time. Exhale, knee to nose. Really engage that core. Inhale, back up. This time, exhale. Bring your knee to the nose and place your foot in between both of your hands. That back heel is going to swivel down. Straighten that left front leg. And we're going to place our left hand on our left ankle. Open those hips. And inhale the right fingertips all the way up to the sky. Reach up, gaze up. Trigonasana or triangle pose. Inhale here, and on your exhale, just bring that right hand all the way across. So you're really stretching that side body. You're gazing up past your armpit. Your balance is a little bit struggling. Mine is. And breathe. So Alma comes into Ammonihah, and it is not as easy as his previous cities. The people do not like him. They're struggling with his preachings and his teachings when he comes in. Inhale here, and on your exhale, you're going to bend your back knee all the way down to the ground until you just sit on the ground. So we're still in this kind of side angle pose. So stay here for a minute and see if your right hand can just reach that left foot. Maybe take a bind. Feel that stretch. Take a couple breaths. When you're ready, come up, and with your left hand, we're going to grab our right ankle and then come deeper into that stretch. Lean over to the left and breathe. You should really feel this. You can also take a bind with your left foot and your right hand if you want to. But you should really feel this in the back, your lower back, which is a lot of times where we hold a lot of stress and tension, so let that go. When you're ready, just make your way back up. We're going to come back into all fours. Our toes are tucked. Warm up that spine. Take some breaths. Feel your body for a minute. We're just going to do the other side. So what I love here is that it says Satan had gotten a hold on parts of the people of the city of Ammonihah, and they would not hearken unto the words of Alma. Nevertheless, Alma labored much in the spirit, wrestling with God in mighty prayer. And I love that because whenever I have doubts, I wrestle with God, and I've talked about that in previous videos. Wrestle with God. Let him know your doubts. Let him know your struggles. Let him know why you're sad or scared or unsure, especially in these times right now. Come to God. Wrestle with him. Understand from him what you're supposed to do or what you feel like you need to do in this moment. Come towards God, not away from him. And so they hardened their hearts. They didn't like what he was saying. And in verse 14, and it came to pass that while he was journeying thither, he was weighed down with sorrow, wading through much tribulation and anguish of his soul because of the wickedness of the people in the city of Ammonihah. He was weighed down with so much sorrow, and I read that and just felt like I could relate with him so much. Inhale here, and on your exhale, just lift those knees. Deepen that breath. I just feel like our world, our situation, our country right now can relate to that. Weighed down, being weighed down with so much sorrow and anguish. In every side that you're on, there's anguish, and there's hurt, and there's hard. And Alma also felt that. And what he did in this moment was wrestle with God. And an angel of the Lord appeared unto him, saying in verse 15, Alma, lift up your head and rejoice. Thou hast great cause to rejoice. Thou hast been faithful in keeping the commandments of God from the time which thou hast received the first message from him. Inhale here, and on your next exhale, come into downward dog. Lift those hips high, engage that core. So I want you to just reflect on that right now, with everything going on, with all of the sorrow, with all of the hard, with everything that you're feeling. Think of an angel coming to you and saying, lift up your head and rejoice. You have so much cause to rejoice. And we really are so blessed in so many ways, and there's so much. Yes, there is, on the other side of that, things need to change and have room to change. And that's great. Also, we have so many blessings. Okay, inhale the right leg all the way up. Whatever you did on the last side, do on this side. So whether you pointed it to the back wall with your hips parallel to the ground, or if you stacked your hips and brought it all the way up for that full stretch, do that with this leg. Inhale here. And on your exhale, bring that knee to your nose. Wring it out. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale. Now this time, bring that foot through both of your hands. Swivel that back heel down. Straighten that front leg. Bring your right hand onto your right ankle. Inhale those left fingertips all the way up to the ceiling. Gaze up. Inhale here, and on your exhale, just bring that left arm all the way over to your right. Really stretch that left side body. Gaze up past that armpit. Take some breaths. So the rest of chapter 8, after this angel comes to Alma, Alma goes out again. And he's really hungry, and he's really weak, and he's been out for a while. But he has this new hope, this renewed hope. So he goes out, and he finds this man whose name is Amulek. He finds this guy, and near the walls of the city, as he enters into the city for the second time, and he's like, I am so hungry. Can I please just have some food? And Amulek just brings him in and says, yes, I will take care of you. I'll help you. And so they talk, and he believes these words that Alma is saying. And so they kind of agree to go out together and teach together and preach together. And he is just like this saving grace of Alma's. Inhale here, and exhale that back left knee. Just bend it until you're sitting on your mat. Inhale here. Exhale. Stretch to the right. Maybe grab that right foot. Inhale, come up to center. And on your exhale, we're going to bring our right hand onto our left ankle. And exhale, lean over to the right. Maybe bind to that right foot again and take some breaths. So in chapter 9, Alma and Amulek tag team it, and they go to the people again, and they're having all this hope and kind of a new energy, because Alma has Amulek, which adds a lot because he's been in that city with them. He has been on both sides, and he knows the people. And Alma knows that this is of God. That angel came to him, and he knows that this is where he's supposed to be and what he's supposed to be doing. Okay, whenever you're ready, inhale, bring both of your arms all the way up, and let's just straighten both of our legs wide. Inhale, arms all the way up, reach up, gaze up, and lead with your chest. Forward fold. And it says in here that when the people saw that Amulek was also teaching with Alma, they were astounded that it was him. And you kind of get this background a little bit into Amulek's life in chapter 10. So chapter 9, they tag team it, they're talking to the people, and the people still do not listen. They're angry with him, they try to hurt him, they're hard-hearted, and they in fact try to take them both to prison. And it came to pass that the Lord did not suffer them, that they should take me at that time to cast me into prison. And Amulek stood forth and began to preach to them also. So now we're in chapter 10, and this is mostly Amulek speaking. In verse 2 it says, I, Amulek. And it kind of goes into his background a little bit, and we get to know him. And in verse 4 it says, I'm a man of no small reputation among the people. I have many kindreds and friends. I have acquired much riches in the land of my industry. He's a successful, pretty popular guy. And I think that's why these people are so astounded, because probably a lot of them knew him. It probably changed the way they looked at Alma. And then in verse 5, nevertheless, after all this, I never have known much the ways of the Lord and his mysteries and marvelous power. But he said, I mistake. I have seen all of his mysteries. Looking back, he has done so much for me. So here's a question for you. In what ways does the Lord call to us? Okay, inhale. Let's just come back up to center. Take any other pose that you would like to. I'm just going to come to a nice seated position as we end in chapter 10. So in what ways does the Lord call to you in your personal life? And in what ways do you listen to that and notice that and really look for that? And then in verse 6, nevertheless I did harden my heart, and I was called many times and I would not hear. Therefore I knew concerning these things, yet I would not know. In all of this, I have come to see God because of Alma. And now looking back, I've seen God in so many times in my life, which I think is so cool also because of, again, everything that our nation is going through right now, our country is going through. Will we look back and see the hand of God in all of this? And maybe we can see it now and maybe not. And maybe we don't know much of the ways of the Lord and his mysteries and his marvelous power in the moment. In verse 7, he talks about how he invited the Lord into his life. And in verse 11, how much the Lord has blessed Amulek. What I also love about this too is that God was on both sides of this. You see this angel coming to Alma in verse 8. So God is there. He's speaking to him saying, go back in the city. You've got this. You can do this. And he feels like the Spirit is just right there guiding him. And then on the other side, God has been with Amulek this whole time. And especially right now, and Amulek says that God was just right there leading him to Alma, basically. So God is in both, his hands are in both situations, leading Alma and Amulek together to find each other and give them both this beautiful testimony and friendship and just everything both of them need in that moment, right? Right now, I feel like so many people are on two sides of everything. There are two sides to every story. And I really, really, really believe, even right now, especially right now, that God's hand is in both of those. It's not that he's one-sided. It's not that we as a people are necessarily one-sided. I think because we also have some godliness in us, we have the ability to be on both sides. And that's what's hard. I know that God has his hand in both sides of everything. There are two sides to every story, and God is with every single side. If we're screaming at each other on social media, or coming together in person, or rioting on the streets, there is two sides to every story, and God is with every side. He's not leaving one side alone. And guess what? We can still wrestle with him no matter what side we're on, because he's on that side with us. Just like he was with Alma and Amulek, leading them together, just like he is with the people of Ammonihah, not necessarily listening to the words of God. And while he's with Alma and Amulek together, he's on all the sides. God is there. He understands. He understands that it's hard for the people of Ammonihah to change their ways. That's hard. That's hard. As we're seeing right now, it's hard to change ways, right? And so because of this, and this is the only time that I have ever spoken up on the internet about this, and what I'm going to say is that this: God is there. He's there for you. He answers prayers, and he's on every side. Turn to him, wrestle with God. Fear not, move forward, wrestle towards God. Don't lose your faith. And he will walk right beside you this whole entire time. He understands you. I really, really firmly have a testimony in that. The light in me honors and loves the light within each one of you. Namaste.